countdown is done. Let me fix this.
Okay.
Titan at Impact League and founder.
We are doing it together. This is the tech
I was gonna write and founder of
guru.
TLDR, but it's like, no, you ain't going that far. You only get so many characters. Okay, fine. Titan at Impact League.
That's right. We're the Titans. But we need TLDR. TLDR is our backbone. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Because thank you, Jesus. So, for those who don't know, we softly launched something called the Impact League. And the two people on this call are pretty much responsible for that. So, I'm going to just give you a little bit of story about how we did this and why we did it. Well, why I did it. And then I woke them up and said, hey, listen, we got a problem.
We gotta do something.
We got to do something. So, the good thing about it, you never know who's in the room or you never know who's on the Zoom. So for about 5-6 months, Natasha and I have seen each other on Zooms, right? We were part of a program that we hoped, and I think everybody was excited about mentoring those young folks that's just so eager to get in business, or even those who had a business but got stalled, didn't know where to go, how to scale, didn't really have all their assets, social media, bookkeeping, all that stuff together. So we were excited. We got approached by someone. They told us they were going to put together this program and we were going to be part of a group that will be going out speaking to move the needle with these people. Well, that didn't necessarily happen. So we did go out, we spoke. I think I did 3 before I actually saw Natasha. And so I ended up going to one in Canada. I never have been to Ottawa. I landed at the airport at midnight and it was snowing. Okay. This was April, the end of
Welcome to Canada.
April. Yes, it's the end of April. And the host was so gracious. So I got a shout out to Janet Taylor. Janet owns Orange. Yeah, she owns the Orange Barn Event Center, and it is absolutely stunning. I stayed there. So funny thing about this is that, I met Janet and it was snowing as I was like, listen, I just
Snowing is
left 80 degrees and it is now snowing here. And I came live. I actually don't do live much, but I went live on Facebook and was like, y'all won't believe this shit. I mean, look, it is cold and it is this. And so we get to the farm. We had one day to kind of get to know each other before we were going to present. So we get to the event that Saturday, and the person that has been on the Zoom with me, another dynamic mastermind, takes the stage. And that is who we're talking to now, Natasha. Natasha is one of the most talented individuals I've ever met. Now, from rapping to poetry to being a growth hacker, she's going to have to explain all that. But lo and behold, we speak. We both get off. We think we're doing great. I wasn't necessarily happy that the event coordinator, unfortunately, with a sold out crowd, did not do favorable like we would hope and expect. So we came back. We had a debrief. That debrief did not go well.
No.
And so it did not go well at all. No. And so this is when everybody knows when they get to a level of fed up and when you like have an F it level, right? A fuck it level comes with some stuff. And so I had probably been spending about $8,000 to $9,000 at this point, my own money, going to these events. Was we expected to get some compensation? Yeah. We're getting people into this program. We're ready. We'll get a percentage of it. Everything seemed to be okay. I never got anything but $240 and I'm 8,000, almost 9,000 in. And so I go to this program and that I'm supposed to be, and I have a conversation with Natasha, and we're all baffled, right? Because we're baffled that our debrief it didn't go well,
Resonating.
Right. It didn't resonate. But not only didn't resonate, one of the things about us, we are seasoned business owners. And by being seasoned business owners, we understand the ebbs and flows. We also understand constructive criticism. We got to take it, right? I take it from my employees. I take it from my clients. I take it from strangers. I don't get but I have tough skin. I don't get personal. I definitely don't let it affect my life.
Comes with the journey.
It does. It does. And I always say, if you got haters, that means you're doing something right. You're doing something right, right? And so when our feedback, which we gave as constructive as possible, didn't land well, it just kind of resonated with me. It's like, wait a minute, what are we doing? But then I asked that question too inside of this group, saying, listen, I'm about implementation. Natasha's about implementation. It's about action. The reason why 90% of small businesses fail between 0 year and 3 is because they have no plan. They come out the gate wrong. And once you come out the gate screwed, you are screwed.
Snowball.
It's a snowball effect that you will never be able to catch up on. Not only do you come out of the gate screwed, you come out of the gate confused with some confidence and arrogance that's not substantiated, right? Because when you start a business, you start slowly. You get your feet. You start to get you're wobbling, right? We're wobbling now. And the reason we're wobbling is because we're launching something new. But that feeling is our backbone is solid. We know today if 1,000 people get on this network called the Impact League, we're okay. We can accept. How many businesses come out of the gate saying, I can accept traffic of 1,000 people? Well, they don't. Well, I
Right.
will start. So, nevertheless, I started driving down the road. I got pissed off and I said, listen, I have the Twyla Garrett Success Academy. I was trying to do all this go high level shit. I mean, I don't know you, but it was hard. That shit is hard if you don't. I'm telling you, I'm not a technologist and I don't want to be a technologist. She is, right? And so I'm taking advice from people, go to high level and put this funnel. And first of all, it took me almost a year to figure out what the hell a funnel was. I did not have a clue until Natasha got up and did one speech for 20 minutes and said it in one sentence what the hell a funnel was. I finally realized it. It's the customer's journey. I was like, wait a minute. That's everybody has a funnel. Right. So nevertheless, I literally didn't sleep for almost 2 days. I started jotting down in the car. I'm taking notes. I'm voice recording everything in my head because I know I got a 2-hour ride back home. And I get home and I start sketching, and lo and behold, I look up and the sun is coming up. And then I text Natasha. I said, "Hey, you got a minute? Let's get on. Let's get on a call. I want to talk to you because I I can't believe this other person is doing this much revenue and not moving a needle. I don't understand how you can really sit back and realize that people are coming to you that've been with you for years, 5, 10 years, 7 years, and have not moved a needle. If they didn't even move a needle, they actually, some of them went backwards. So then I'm like, how is this possible? And so lo and behold, the birth of Impact League happened. And this is no lie. Impact League was developed and launched in 9 days, period. Developed, launched in 9 days. And I think she woke up and I sent her the link to a website that I did, which was not technically sound. She told me that immediately.
It had all the content though.
But I had content,
It had
exactly.
all of it.
I had all the content that I could think about. Everything that came in this head went on this piece of this website. And this is what I love because it was like a vision board, right? For me, Natasha treated it like a vision board. I threw all this shit on there. I'm like, I don't know, but this is what I think. And I think we need to do this. And lo and behold, now Natasha could tell her story. But when she came to me, she said, Twyla, I've been thinking about this too for years. For years. Now, Natasha, what were you thinking about?
Okay, so I'm founder of TLDR Call Station. TLDR, too long, didn't read. We do the reading, so you don't have to.
I love it too. Absolutely.
And so I built my business off of the fact that there's a disjointed communication between different agencies that companies hire in marketing. Okay. And they omit things and they screw up your digital footprint. Anyways, we'll get into that if you join Impact League. I'll teach you all about your digital footprint and how important it is. All right. So I get in there and I was like, this doesn't make sense. I learned about the stats that you were just quoting, Twyla, about businesses when they start and drop out. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Any sense. And then I discovered the wonderful world of business coaching. And the same light bulb went off. I don't need a cheerleader. I need somebody that's going to line me up strategically with an order of things to do, prioritized, so I can move my business needle and get somewhere. And so start investigating all these different business coaches. And I'm going to lean on Patty's story. Patty gets to my desk. She has been love bombed. She's pumped. Yes, I'm going to make $1 million. And I was like, all right, Patty, what are we doing? And she came at me with what I call an all-dress pizza. Okay. So all-dress pizza is like, I want a website with the online courses and an event system and a booking system. And I want to do regular courses and a program. All right, Patty. Patty had spent $60,000 up until that point with business coaches, et cetera, and had nothing to show for it. All right, well, that Patty story made me pop a fuse. And I started a little thing called the Fire Starters, which was meant to be exactly what Twyla and I have built here with Impact League, where let's get these people in, let's mentor them correctly, let's make sure they're moving the business needle. But I was by myself, and so was Twyla.
Yeah.
Those days are done.
I wasn't even a creator. I just said the Twyla Garrett Success Academy. I didn't even know with the other than just success, and success is relative. It doesn't mean you need to be a millionaire. Doesn't mean you're gonna make a million. If you're doing 20K now and we get you to 100K, success.
Success.
But what the goal was is to give you first the right structure. Come out the gate right, or either back your ship up and start over. And secondly, put you in a room where you can ask any dumb, what you might think dumb, crazy ass question where there's no judgment. There's nothing but, okay, what did you just, I might laugh a little bit. Now, I ain't gonna laugh. I'm gonna lie to you.
Yeah, we laugh.
But it's not laughing at you. It's laughing probably because we had them same damn questions when we were there. But one of them big things that I wanted was, everybody says, since I've been one of the Verizon spokespersons for years and I travel, and every time I get off a stage, Twyla, can you mentor me? Twyla, can you mentor me? And I'm like, no, not that I don't want to, but bandwidth is a tough thing, right? And so I still have businesses that I'm running. And for those who don't know, I'm in Africa building a hotel. I only been back in the United States for the last, month and a half, and I'm heading out in 2 weeks. I got to get back because I got to figure out, is the roof on? And if they're not, how we getting it on? So at the end of the day, what I wanted to do is, as I sat in that car driving and I was thinking, why can't we give them a mastermind? I've been blessed to have an amazing mentor. He's an amazing guy. And I got him late, but I didn't utilize that person well. I didn't know how to. And so, but what I realized is that the rooms he can put me in, the people he can introduce me to, I would never get there alone. There's no way. But I know for a small business that's under 1 million or maybe even under 5 or 10, I got friends that can put them in the right room. I got friends who know every segment of the business. I got media friends. I got social media friends. Now, what I didn't have, and I got now though, I knew nothing about blockchain, Bitcoin, sustainability processes. And there's a bad man on here that y'all gonna see. And he's gonna have his own time with me later on today, actually. And so, but one of the things I realized is that we have to have an honest conversation with ourselves, because part of us making it, and we say making it, it's relative. Every one of us on here is still building, still growing, still moving and moving, right? But we have made it to a sense that we ain't coming out of the gate. We can all start a business and it ain't gonna look crazy at the beginning and we can move the needle. But what we know is that we have friends, we have networks of each other that we can call. When I met Natasha, I said, Natasha, take a look at my website. Natasha looked at it, and I got this text the next morning. It says, what the F? And I just said, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? With your level of da 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 da, your shit is bullshit. How about that? And I was like, okay, you're right. And you know my response back? No crying, no tears. Fix it.
Fix it.
Fix it. I acknowledge when constructive criticism comes, and I know I got to accept it, swallow the pill, and fix the problem. And so what the Impact League is here to do is that we want to, one, get you to the table to start off right. Two, if you're already at the table, you're doing a million, I got people doing millions and they ain't even got books. I talked to a person yesterday who told me that they have $1 million business. They're ready to go. I said, well, let me see your chart of account. She said, what is that?
What is that?
I said, what you say? She's like, what
Do
is
you have
that?
a business plan? Oh, I don't need one.
No, I don't have a business plan. Do you have a strategic plan that you update every 3 to 4 months so you can make sure you're going on? What is your tactical goal? They looked at me like I was crazy. Twyla, that's all that stuff from business school. No, not necessarily. Some of it is just, I need a plan. What am I operating to? How am I marching? How do I know my numbers are right? Am I making money? And then when I dug deeper with this young lady that's doing over $1 million, and I said, what's your net margin? What do you mean? And when she said this, now you're over $1 million, she said, I haven't paid myself in years. I am not making any profit. So what are you doing? You might as well go to some bank building and work and make $80,000, $90,000 salary that you can go home. So that's why this was birthed, and we're going to be morphing it. I'm very honest. The few people on this call is the back engines of this, right? I come up with these crazy ideas. I shoot them over to Natasha. She figures out how to program them. She brings me back some good ideas and crazy ideas, and we implement them, right?
Move forward.
And without Natasha, I'll be very honest, I would have threw that website that I developed up with none of this back end craziness, and it probably wouldn't have went anywhere. It might have got a little bit of traffic because I'm known, but it wouldn't have done what I hope this network will do. So what I went to do is I wrote down, who do I know that I can trust, validate that they know what they're doing in a lane that they're expert in. And so I made a list. And I had 6 people. Now, it's reason the 2 of these people, 2 other slots are not in. There is a reason. So she's going to pull it up. So we're going to talk about masterminds. So when I pulled up the list and I start talking about who can I know that is a master in marketing and that can help a business. We're in the digital days, right? This is not that old knock on the door, grassroots. It's still a little bit of that depending on your product, right? But if you don't want to go into the new generation of technology, you will be left behind.
That's right.
There is absolutely no doubt. Even in construction, we got robots building buildings. We got 3D printers building buildings. If you don't want to get into that day and understand how to program that robot and be on the engineering side versus losing your job, then you're going to be there.
Yeah.
So when I started looking at who I needed in this moment, I said, listen, right now, people need to monetize, right? Everybody wants to be a celebrity. The bad thing about the internet and this social media craziness is everybody thinks they're a business owner and everybody thinks they're a celebrity and everybody is looking for the likes. Well, for those people who really do need the likes and the celebrity stuff, I bought in a celebrity person, Dr. Austin. Now, if you don't know Dr. Austin is Cardi B's dentist and multiple celebrity clients dentist. And she is also pivoting. She sold a business. She's now one of the big podcasting persons. She does branding and media. She's an expert. She'll be with me on Friday night. We're going to go live and do this too. We're going to film Friday because we're speaking again at one of these events. So Dr. Austin is there to stay in the lane of branding. If you want to be, and now if you're a dentist and you really don't know what the hell you're doing, you probably want to talk to Dr. Austin because she sold a business. And you probably want to talk to her about how she went from being a dentist to going down just veneers. In each case is over $40,000. How about that? Right? Talked about how to get in the media. Dr. Oz, all these other celebrity shows. This is her.
One right
and
here.
then she knows how to monetize podcasts. She's helping me with mine. She's going to help our show. We're going to have one here at the Impact League. And so we're leaning on those. The next expert. Listen, this next expert you got on the phone. She has to explain what the hell she does because most of it, I didn't even know what 360 marketing was. I damn sure didn't know what growth hacking was, but take it away, Natasha.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to put it in one sentence. Every little bit of you, from Facebook comments to Instagram comments to your website to the LinkedIn, everything makes up your digital footprint. And the internet works by just repeating that information. There's a method to the madness. If that information isn't exact, your footprint's doing more damage to you than good. And you're wondering why you're on page 12 of Google. I could tell you why. What's growth hacking? Well, growth hacking is understanding how the algorithms work that we play in and day out, and what triggers them. How do I get a bestseller on Amazon, right? How do I make something viral? We made a nurse viral 3 weeks ago, trending Canada in 17 minutes.
I can't wait till she make us viral. Believe that. Canada, right? Australia, she can put us anywhere. I can't wait.
Right? We've got Un Cadeau du Ciel, which is a company that went through a show that's kind of like Shark Tank, but in Quebec, in Canada. They wanted to win Public's Choice Award at the National Bank's Startup Fest. And not only did they win, they had twice as many votes as their closest competitor and ended up with like a $30,000, $40,000 grant walking out because they won. And so this is what I'm bringing in, is understanding how all of the pieces of you matter if you want people to find you and see what you're doing. And second, I'm going to tell you how to growth hack. I'll tell you how I got to the BBC, to the New York Times, to Reuters. We were named Maclean's Newsmakers in 2015 because of a hashtag.
Unbelievable.
If we can get Aaron Brockovich to pick up and dox the mayor of Montreal and put his phone number online.
Now, you said something, Natasha. Guys, Impact League is global coming out the gate.
Bam.
Natasha is sitting in Canada. Our brilliant genius with all the Bitcoin and strategies and all that great stuff, he's in Canada. So what you have, there's Nick. Nick is amazing. So I love this whole, the mad maker, the portfolio hedge guy. He's going to talk to you. And let me say this, and I need to speak to my people who are African American. The likelihood that you will ever understand this information or even get this information is slim and far between. And the reason Nick is here is because we need to level the playing field.
That's
I
right.
needed you to be in the room with him. When we do a webinar, you need to be in the room with him. You need to take every note you possibly can. You need to figure out how you can say, Nick, I got $50. What the hell can I do with that? How
That's
do I
right.
grow 50 to 100 to 1,000 to 1,000,000?
That's
He
right.
can get you on a path. See, knowledge is the king and knowledge is the power. And what we don't have in the Black community, in the inner cities, is that. We forget it. People look at it and be like, man, Bitcoin is a joke. Well, he about to tell you something different. He gonna tell you something different.
I got Nick in
Bitcoin is
front
a
of me
joke.
going,
What is blockchain? Right. What's blockchain? He's gonna tell you something different. And the reason that I want Nick there, and Nick is gonna, every one of us is gonna do a webinar each week. But the reason, most importantly, why Nick is there, he's got to get you over the hump of believing that you cannot and you should not be in this space. Because just like y'all gonna be on his webinar listening, my ass is too. Because I don't know this. And I got multiple degrees. And
ma'am.
I do, and he also is French. And he gonna speak some. His language is unbelievable. So it sounds absolutely beautiful. That's why you look. You marry a
Telling him that.
yes. It's unbelievable. It could be on somebody's voiceover that is absolutely stunning. So, but nevertheless, he is brilliant, and so you will get a chance to meet. And when we are on our webinar, you're gonna see Twyla with her pen and her paper too, figuring out, okay, Nick, how do I give you $1,000 and what can we do? How do we do this?
He
We
finds
probably
cash flow where you never thought there was.
exactly. And how do we get an investment club? I'm going to challenge Nick to put an investment club together inside the mastermind, inside of the Impact League. I'm going to do one in real estate. You'll see the other partner. Let's bring up Joanne Rollison. Joanne, now, Joanne is special. So Joanne has been a friend of mine for over 20 years. She's a 2-time cancer survivor, 18 and 45. But this woman, let me tell you about her daddy, though. But her dad was a Tuskegee Airman. He was the first one to go into the in the beautiful suburban area of Newark, New Jersey, called Inglewood Cliffs. Stake out, after he did his journey in the military, a real estate firm called the English Realty. And he grew that to multiple hundreds of buildings that he ended up owning. He gave out loans to people who had never been able to qualify for loans. He built a community. Well, his daughter grew up and never have worked anywhere else but the English firm. She turned that legacy into a dynasty. And she's moving now that dynasty to her son. So there's 2 main reasons why Joanne is on this platform. She's a master negotiator. You do not want to go in the room and let unless you have her look at that deal. If it's real estate, any deal, your contracts, she's an expert negotiator. She's an expert realtor. I mean, she's not just a realtor, she's a broker. She brokers the deals that need to be done, big and small, commercial and non-commercial. And most importantly, what we lose, and this is why Natasha and I both agree, the reason we're doing this is to create generational legacy wealth, okay? And in order to create this legacy wealth and this generational wealth, we got to have one thing, the ability to move it over. So Joanne is there to talk about how she's going through the process of turning over her father's dynasty to her son. And she's going to impart valuable information about how you should keep and leverage that business. I can tell you how to sell it, but I would hope and pray you would try to move it and keep it. So that's what Joanne is there for. Now let's talk about Cleedra. Cleedra is such a sweetheart. Cleedra is going to just, look, Cleedra, she loves to work with businesses that don't even know how to come out the gate. She's that $0 to $250,000 girl. She is that one to get your life coaching mindset. She really wants to make sure that she has you motivated to leave the 9 to 5 to really understand what the dynamics are in business. It is a different dynamic.
Totally.
We don't punch clocks. Do you punch a clock, Natasha? Right. How much hours of sleep do you get?
I always get my 6 to 7. I force it.
You force it. You got to.
I force it.
But go back to when you first started. Exactly.
The 9 to 5 mindset, thinking in terms of hours. What a mistake. What a mistake. No sleep.
But we owned it. I think once we all got about 10 years in, hair being lost, weight being gained, looking actually crazy, getting older. Shit, now I'm in menopause. So the shit really real now. And so after having all of that, then we said, you know what? Enough is enough. We got to take back our life. And so we are going to make sure when you start these businesses, you still keep your life and don't go through the things we went through. Because if we had to do it over again, we know how not to say no. We know how to say, And not just no, but hell no.
Choose your clients.
Choose your clients. Don't let your clients choose you and make
Yes.
you look crazy. So part of what Cledra's magic is helping us. We're going to work in that background, making sure business, insurance, and everything else is put together right so you're bankable. How about that? Bankable. But Cledra's got to get your mind right. Because if you come out at 9 to 5, this is not a 9 to 5 gig. Never, ever, ever. Like I told you, we opened in 9 days. We went live in 9 days. I probably had 5 of those days with hardly no sleep.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was some
Yeah.
midnight oil sending
Yeah.
us at
I mean,
midnight.
I got texts where we're still going at it at 1:30 in the morning. And we're at shit. Last night we were like, bye, go to bed. We gotta go to
What
bed.
a bit.
And
What a bit.
so
But that's the passion though.
yep. That's the passion, but that's also the fact that we know that we got to burn a little bit more at the front to actually take the break in the middle and at the end. And so we know that. And so I'm grateful that Cledra is here. You're going to enjoy working with her. She's got the most calming, demeaning spirit. She's a minister. So for those that we have nonprofit or ministerial folks that's coming in and they really want to rock that business, Cledra's for you. She's going to get you right. She's definitely going to get you right. Now, I gotta definitely talk. Who else we got? All right. So let's go to Kevin.
Mr. Calhoun.
How many times? Well, first, I had never seen a Black owner of a Marriott. I know they have some, but I'd never been close to one till I met Kevin Calhoun.
Till you met this guy.
And Kevin, in his tenure, has opened 3 hotels. Not just open, but owned 3 hotels. Hilton, Marriott, I think 2 Marriotts in Hilton. So what was fascinating about Kevin is Kevin comes from corporate. Initially came 20 years out of corporate, flying on them corporate jets. He was a corporate VP or a corporate senior person, but he brings that optimization, how to optimize and streamline or bring up new functions. That is key as you scale. One of the things, Natasha and this is a part of what we're doing now. We're scaling to a whole new platform. We're optimizing, but we're also bringing up different businesses. This is what Kevin does well. He also has, how they say the voice of God? I have an event planning company and everybody like, Twyla, play the voice of God. Well, Kevin is one of those individuals that plays the voice of the consumer. And I was shocked. When I went to him to play this, it was after I had met with Natasha. I'm like, what do you think? Look at the website. And she's looking, and I went to Kevin. I said, what do you think about this? He played the voice of the consumer. He gave me amazing feedback about, oh my God, you mean I could get this? But you're missing this, Twyla. What about this? Because if I'm coming out of the gate, I'm definitely losing this. And I don't understand this. And so I went back to the drawing board, started redoing the website, and Natasha started taking it like, oh, she's adding more stuff. Let me get this moving. So Kevin is the dynamic individual. Well, not only the voice of God, he owns a solutions company that actually focuses on funding, finding the right deal. He has this niche phrase called "this deal don't pencil." And I love it. This deal don't pencil. That means you pack your marbles up and go to hell home because the shit ain't working. That's what it means. And so he is a niche. He's got the niche of doing that and doing it well and doing it quickly. And so if you want to get into real estate, I'm going to be, and he's going to be championing an investment club that both Canadians and U.S. can get in. Our first goal is we're going to look for an apartment building, a multi-use building that we can get. And our goal is to get maybe 30, 40 members to come up with $5,000 to $10,000, and we're going to go buy a building. Guess what, guys? You will now be owners of a property. And that is what we want to do. And Kevin and I are in alignment. I'm a realtor. I'm a developer and a realtor. He is a developer. We know the game. And so this is what Kevin brings to the table. He brings that voice of God. And so the beautiful thing is every one of our clients that we have now, we're putting them into the network. We have our own individual people. Natasha's been mentoring. I've been mentoring. We're throwing them into the network. You know why? Because at some point, they don't need Twyla anymore. They need Natasha. And I should be able to go in the network and ping Natasha and say, hey, I need to pull such and such over to you now. I got her. Here's her mission. Here's her focus. This is the website done. And I need you to make it happen and put all that tricks in the background to make her right and get her educated about it. And so the goal of this network, so I just introduced our 7 titans, including myself. And you guys know me. If you don't know me, I'm a beast. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a beast in business. And the reason I am is because I was on welfare. I've been homeless. I've been there. I know what it's like to have nothing. So, but I also know what it's like to celebrate success. And I also know how it is to fail. So being a beast is not to tell and pat my back, it's to tell you that I go in. And when I go in, I'm coming out to win. You want me? The beauty about being former civilian military is they taught me the principle is you make sure you bring up your other person's back, no matter what. And so part of my network, when I individually selected the people I want, I told them all, I don't want you to sit and talk and pontificate on shit. I need you to move the needle for these people.
Shout out.
Period. You need to implement, give homework, explain the homework, work the homework through them, with them, and send them into launch mode. So Impact League is not here for therapy. Now, we can talk to you all for therapy if you want. You can bring a therapist in because we got something called guest masterminds. We probably will bring in some therapists. You do need holistic. I'm not asking you to go balls to the walls going crazy. But what I'm asking you to do, if you come into our network, be serious, be ready to implement, be ready to scale. It will weed out some that are not ready. And that's great because we got plans for that. You can sit on the elite side, the essential side or the premium side and watch us do our magic and step your toe in when you're ready. That's why we design 4 plans. So essential is, look, $27 a week. That's what it is. To get in the room with people who are going to do magic. $27. So you can't tell me you can't afford $5 a day. You just can't tell me. You get to ask us questions. You get to go on the threaded board and ask us any questions. It is mandatory that our every day that we see these questions, we answer them. Either we get together, Natasha might say, hey, I got these, I got it. Or I might say, I got it. Or somebody else might say, I got it. But the goal is to say, we're going to answer your questions. You might not be able to afford us, but you can afford 119. Now, after June, it's going to 149. But you get to ask us questions. You get to network. You get to see other people in the network. You get to make connections. And it's not making connections just to do this Facebook thing or whatever, Instagram. It ain't about I want to like you and be your friend. I want to do business with you. I want to do business with you. How do I get to do business? Now, to get in the room to do the business, you got to go elite and higher. But at the end of the day, you get some accountability partners that can help you move the needle. The next phase is premium. So premium, it's right now $249. What does premium get you? Everything in essential, but every quarter, you get to meet with one of us in your lane. You don't pick which one you get. We pick you based on your business.
Where you're at.
If you are a janitorial business trying to scale, and you probably gonna talk to me. If you are a e-commerce person that's selling books and funnels, you're gonna talk to Natasha. If you just want to get on TV because your mother wants you to be on TV, and before she goes somewhere, you want to be on it, you want to talk to Dr. Austin. If you said, hey, look, I play and dabble in stocks. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I made money. You want to talk to Nick. So, but if you got a contract you need to negotiate, call Joanne. Joanne's going to be there, right? And if you got a deal that you want to see, not just real estate, a deal that makes sense. See, Kevin is brilliant. He does this deal don't pencil. It don't mean just real estate. It means this business opportunity. Are you getting the right profit and margins out of this thing to make it make sense? So he's an engineer by trade. So he engineers and re-engineers everything. So you might want to go to him. There is a room for everybody, but you get quarterly. You get 1 hour every quarter. Exactly. And then there's exclusive events. But if you're ready, if you're making $100,000 and you don't know where to go and your stuff is really jacked up in the back or set it great in the back, then you want to be in the elite group. Because the elite group is going to do one thing. It's going to make you meet with us monthly. It's going to give you focus. We're going to ask about the business plan, the strategy. What is your goals? What is your tactical plan? What's your staff look like? You know, how is your margins? How did you come up with this price? Where did you get this stuff? Who's your clients? Why aren't you marketing here? Why can't you move and come up with additional services to create additional revenue? Who's your partner? How come you didn't partner with somebody on this deal? You're not smart. You're too small for this. So we're teaching you how to maneuver to get yourself into the room of a bigger contract. We will mentor you monthly. It's non-negotiable. We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to hold you accountable. We want to be there to say, listen, you need to do this, this, and that. We're going to give you a roadmap. More importantly, this level and the next level gets you to 2 opportunities that you're not going to get in the other level. So what it gets you is every quarter, we're going to rotate in the city. And we probably, as we get and grow, we're going to rotate into the city that provides us something called a impact dinner. And you can go to the intense because that's the last level. So intense and elite gives you the invite to these 2 events. And the invite is strategic because it's limited seating. It's only going to be maybe 10 at the beginning, maybe 50 at the end. But what that gives you is the ability to network. So it's a collaborative group that we cultivated prior to us going. About 2 weeks after we have the people selected that's going to go. There's a fee for the dinner, of course. But this impact dinner, what it's going to do is Natasha is going to probably put out something to the world that's going, saying, give me your top 3 issues, concerns, pressing points now. Those top 3 is what this mastermind dinner is going to be about. If we're not one of the ones to solve it, we're going to bring in a guest that helps us. Mm-hmm. That dinner is going to rotate between Canada and the United States. We're going to have a chance to go into Canada. So make sure if your business is businessing and you mathing that you have a passport, because you got to get into Canada.
That's right.
Right? And so we're going to Canada. We're going to host this dinner. We're going to have a dinner. Very nice. We're going to pick some great places, where we can have private rooms, frank discussions. That is a no judgment zone. And the goal of that night is hour worth of networking and dinner and 3 hours of masterminding. When you walk out of there, your mind should be blown. There you go. There you go. Because remember, we crafted this meeting for you.
That's right.
So it's not like you're showing up and don't know what's about to be discussed. It's the things that you had on your list that need to be done. Bring your notepad. Make sure you're coming to do your thing. Make sure you dress to win a deal. You are now meeting people who can make change and issue contracts. Every year. So our anniversary, we launched June 2nd. So what I'm going to do every June, we're going away. It's called our summit. It's going to be 5 days. It's going to definitely be somewhere nice. Got to be somewhere nice because I refuse to actually go. That's the luxury event. I think it's right at the bottom. I want to make sure at this event that we have the opportunity to showcase us. Wherever we go, what hotel we take out, I hope it grows to be 1,000 of us, that we take out a convention center. And in that room, everybody gets to showcase their product and their service. If you're a webcaster and you do XYZ, we'll go live. We're going to be on your webcast. You're going to be going live from wherever we're at. Yeah, we're going to do our podcast from there, right? We're going to be filming. I'm sure it's going to be more podcasters there. We're going to have executive sponsors there as well. That's going to help move the needle. But more importantly, this is something called the impact tank. So yeah, is it Shark Tank? It's Shark Tank with a conscious. Okay. This is Shark Tank with a conscious. I am not going to lie to you. If we're pulling money out of this business, the business I own, we want equity. So many times we get to the table, especially I'm talking to my people now, we ain't giving up none of this business. We ain't trying to give nobody our stuff. This is all mine. Well, let me tell you, you're going to go quicker when you start giving away a little bit, especially to the people who have made the difference, to the people who are doing work, to the people who can fund you and get you to the next level. So we're going to have those conversations. So you're going to be able, we're going to take up to 10 businesses that's going to pitch a group of my sharks or my impact tanks. So my impactors, you're going to be pitching our impactors. And we're going to go back and vote on which businesses we want to pitch and say, yeah, we'll do that deal. But keep in mind, we got a man that says this deal don't pencil. So your deal might not pencil. And we're going to tell you why it didn't. Don't mean you can't come back next year and try it again if you get selected. But the point of this is I wanted to make this platform so that we're investing back into these businesses that we are helping moving the needle with. We know how funding is. Natasha knows how it is. Their banks ain't no different than ours. They probably will and will not. They hate us. They love us. I mean, you can be bankable and still not get, I'm bankable and you can still get declined because you're in an industry that is always got receivables that's 90 days. I didn't know that going into construction. I got a beautiful credit score.
But as an ex-banker, we omit information.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things you don't know. So part of our impact tank is to do that. We are going to invest in some businesses. We also are going to be picking some things that we're going to be working on coming, like our impact posse. It's going to be doing some surprise visits, some roll-ups. We're going to be rolling up on a couple of people in a couple of cities and helping their business. So we want to move this needle. My goal, and I am 100%, and I believe in putting and manifesting this in the air. This is my goal. I want to see all of my Titan and all of my original people who come into Impact and believe from day one on the stage at NASDAQ ringing the bell.
The peanut gallery.
That is where I want this to go.
That's where we're going.
Can you imagine ringing the bell at NASDAQ? Because we have been able to grow an ecosystem that is unreal. And my biggest goal is that we are starting inside this cocoon doing business with each other. that it will attract these big boys to put their little procurements in this contract, in this little ecosystem. You know what? Why don't we give it to the Impact League? Okay. Now we can give other contracts. We don't need to take your 5, 10, 20 million. No, we know we got to put that on the street. We know procurement law. But I know one thing, from 0 to 250,000, you can put them suckers into tanks like ours, that we can say, hey, we got 20 qualified people in our group that can do this work. And they know their books, and they are bankable, and they got quality. And that's what we want. So we are going to ask anybody that is listening to this, get into the tank. We got a room out there that you can just peruse, but guarantee you're going to want to know what's happening in this cocoon. You're going to want to be inside of the league. You're going to want to be in the league, because the moment one of your friends get $30,000 from just sitting in the network from one of us, that's going to hit the news.
Change all of a sudden.
They did nothing but be in and get their books right and get their business straight, and got Natasha getting their website and everything else straight. And they're now able to talk and understand the deals that they should say, this deal don't pencil. We're going to teach that. So I am passionate about this. I have never had a product in all my life. I've been a service-based business from the day I walked out. I am so grateful. At 54, this is my first product. My first product with an amazing group of people that you cannot afford to be. Now, I got a couple of things I have to say. When people say, oh, well, why are we paying $14,000? Let me tell you this. I know crazy people that have spent $100,000 to walk on some damn fire and came back and their business went under 3 months later. Who the hell told you that walking on fire was going to get your damn business straight? It's crazy. I know other people, our competitors, I ain't got to call them out, just go on to Instagram. They advertising as we speak for $50,000 a year. How you going to get in that room? You don't even make $50,000. Okay? I could not do this unless it was affordable.
That's right.
I had to negotiate and tell every one of these titans, this is all we can pay you to mentor these people per hour. But they're all in, because they know once you grow, shoot, you might be hiring them. They all have services. I'm not prohibiting any of my people to not be hired. I want them to be. I want Natasha to come and say, Twyla, I got 75 new clients and they all came from the Impact League. Okay, good. I'm sure you're quite busy. I'm sure you're expanding. I'm sure you're growing. She got probably them little bots and robots and shit running in the back doing all kind of crazy stuff. So, but that's what we want. That's what we want, guys. This is the opportunity for you to make impact. You got to put your money where your mouth is. So many times over the last 20 years, I mentored people that never paid me, and they didn't do shit with
Don't do the homework.
They did nothing. And what I recognized quickly is that when you pay for something, you actually will get something out of it. You're going to at least do a little harder than just BSing it. Our money is not a lot of money. Like I said, the lower plan is $27 a week. The highest plan is $9.97. It'll go to $12.97. But $9.97 is less than $250 a week. $250 a week to make sure. That's like almost $50 a day for you to have coaches that can move your needle. You're not going to get that.
For 1 hour, Twyla?
Yeah. $9.97.
1 hour. But now
that's what I charge.
All of us. It's mind-blowing.
It is.
It's mind-blowing, and it's breaking down the gates. There are so many mindsets, techniques, operational methods, strategies that have been gate kept, and we're tearing those gates down.
And let me say this, because I don't want it to be a racial thing, because people always say, oh, it's the white people that kick. No, we keep the same damn gate. Because here's the thing, in my community, when some people in our community get up there, they don't want to go back and pull up. They like, oh, I made it shit. It took me too hard.
I'm done with those days.
I'm done. I'm not going back there because you could take my job. They're more threatened. We're agnostics to this. Somebody asked me, Twyla, why is your group so diverse? I did have somebody ask me that. I said, you know why? Because if your clients aren't diverse, then you ain't in business. If your clients all look like you're crazy, period. That means your message only resonates to one kind. What if that kind turns on you? You're screwed. So I can sell to anybody. My avatar is gender neutral, race neutral. It's neutral. Sexual orientation neutral.
Yeah, we don't care.
We don't care. We don't care.
Want to bring you the best?
Listen,
we achieve the best.
Exactly. Natasha says it the best. So I needed to go live because I know we're getting ready. We're 31 days away from opening. And what does that opening look like? We're in the back playing around now. But the goal is we want to make the difference. We're going to hear you. We want to meet you where you're at. We're not going to embarrass you or shame you. I will be, her and I are probably the most direct on this platform. Okay. So we will warn you. We are very direct.
Fair warning.
Believe me, there is love and passion behind everything we're saying. I don't mind if somebody tears me down to build me back up. I do not. You're not tearing me down. You're rebuilding me because you know I'm built incorrectly. That's what Natasha did to my. She's doing it. She's gonna do it to my website. I don't care. I want her to make me shine. That's the goal. So I say that to you guys because we needed to have this conversation. I wanted it to be just authentically me. I want every one of my Titans to be authentically them. I've asked them to all go and do a video so you can understand them and their personalities. But one thing I think, once you get to know us, you're gonna love all of us. We all bring an amazing skill set. We all are building our family within our group, and we're all going to have each other's back. That's the goal. So I know you don't know about this. It ain't shit that you can compare us to because it doesn't exist. You can Google all you want masterminds and see what you get. They don't look like you. They got $50,000 price tags. They're going to reuse
4
the
events per year, right?
And reusing the same information they used 20 years ago. Just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, some of y'all keep paying for the same speech that's been repackaged for the last 40 years.
Hear that?
We'll make sure you don't do that.
I know how it is to Google at night and scan at night. I've been a participant of clicking yes and buying something and then sitting there going, I don't know what the hell I bought, and then forget about it.
After 11 p.m., you got to put the phone down.
Exactly. They know when to get you. See, she knows the perfect time to get you.
Meta certified over here. I've seen that.
Exactly. We're not there to do it. We're going to have office hours on this platform. We are running a business. We're going to enjoy our families at 7, 8, 9. If you got an emergency and you're about to negotiate a deal and walking in a room, we can help you.
Yeah. Listen.
But we want you to respect the time that we have, just like we're going to respect yours.
Got to. And we're there for the emergency crisis moments. Like I had a client ring me up. They generate about $4,000 per day with their e-com.
That's good.
Okay. Not huge, but 4K in prepped food.
That's good. Yeah.
And I get a phone call from them. They hired the wrong web developer that was just a lonely dude in his basement. And out of nowhere, he closed the business. And now the website's gone. Hated. Right? So we're there to vet the team that you want to work. We're there to help you and guide you so you don't make those mistakes, right? Had they known me before, I would have told them like, no, don't get somebody who's like working from their parents' basement. Okay? Because if that business goes down, so does your website. Anyways,
what's that saying? The cheap comes out expensive?
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
And we've all seen it. Has Twyla done it? Yes. The cheap comes out expensive. But one of the things that I'm loving now, and I can't wait till Natasha does her webinar. That's the one thing I didn't mention. So every week, one of our Titans will have their own featured webinar. They're going to come with their own subject, their topic, everything. Natasha, and I believe Nick is going to join her, but I know Natasha's kicking us off on June 5th. And so for those who are not in the network, there will be a cost to get to it. But if you're in the network, it's free. And I think she's talking about technology and AI. But one of the things that I love right now is learning the AI. There's a lot of things that we can streamline. Does it get rid of people? Not necessarily. It helps you retool people to do the other things that you really need a human to do. Mm-hmm. And so you got to kind of embrace it. I'm embracing it. I got a little bot, a couple bots, and them little suckers is moving their little asses off. I'm like,
wait until they see the integration. They'll even answer your emails.
They will. So there's things. I wake up sometime with 500 emails between Africa, between here, between now this. And now if I could have somebody that's responding, thank you, Jesus. So I'm embracing technology. And here's the thing. I'll probably come online. I sent my first newsletter yesterday to our group. It was just to say, welcome aboard, what to expect over the month. We are playing in the system. I believe, and Natasha could probably echo this better, probably for the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be tweaking as we go.
Make it better.
We want to make it better. We want to take away things that don't work. Eventually, we're going to migrate to our own network. I would hope that would be next year or sooner, depending on where we're at.
The impact official.
Yeah. You will get updates about how things are changing. But what's inside of those plans are also exercises, tools, drills, videos, us. We might be in a deal and walked away and we're going to go live on a video and say, anybody in my elite network, I want you guys to understand this just happened. This just happened. And if you in this same space, I need you guys to take note. And we're going to keep those assets in the library. So if you remember, oh God, I think Twyla said something 2 weeks ago. You can go and see it.
Mhm.
I want our Titans. I want you guys. If you're out in the street and you got, look, they're giving away $50,000 if you show up on this street, go live.
Go live.
Tell your community. Because one of the things I think I never had growing into this business, in any business, is a community. I have belonged to many organizations, very not prominent organizations for women, but I never had a community because I always was the outsider. I did something that nobody else did, so nobody really not rocked with Twyla. They loved Twyla. They loved to hang with me, but
Business.
I couldn't do business with them because they weren't in my space. And the people in my space didn't look like me. They were all men. So they damn sure wasn't gonna rock with. And it wasn't a camaraderie, right? There wasn't that community. And that's what we're building here. We really are building a community. And I love the fact that it's a diverse community. So I don't care what any politician, any political rhetoric is. We all can do business with every shade, everybody, anybody.
Business is business. And you want the
Money
best.
is green. Now, their money is a different kind of color. They got a couple colors that's a little weird.
Yeah, we got the monopoly money up here.
They got monopoly money, but it spends and it's currency. And it's currency. So imagine waking up a Ohio business and you get a contract to work with Natasha, or vice versa. Natasha gives you a contract. Now you're global. So somebody needs to go visit Dr. Austin and do a media press release and make sure that the media knows that this little town business is now global. You might get a knock on the door by the local news to say, how you do that?
This happened to TLDR, actually.
Come on, tell it.
So we did this thing called Flushgate. Hashtag Flushgate. I'll get into the importance of hashtags on the inside. Hashtag Flushgate, it was named the flush that was heard around the world. Okay. So like 4 years after this campaign that got named McLean's Newsmakers in 2015, we made the list, our hashtag, right? I get a phone call from a researcher in her final year of university. And she says, can I speak to Natasha? I said, speaking. She goes, we actually are doing Quebec's first multidisciplinary research project on Flushgate. And as we were doing our research, we saw your name. Now I'm going to get things right. I am not the show. Whenever I'm building something, I'm not the face. It's whatever I'm doing, right, that we're putting out there. So they had to dig, but they followed the breadcrumbs. And they found me and they were like, what the hell did you have to do with this? This was like a First Nations thing. And then we see this one random white girl. And they're like, what the hell did you do? I said, well, you're wondering why Flushgate was heard around the world? I was the communication strategist. And then she went, wait a minute. And the next thing I knew, I was in like a 90-minute interview, part of this. So somewhere at McGill and Concordia, there's a research project about Flushgate because they wanted to understand why it had so much impact. Like, why did that particular thing blow up? It had economic repercussions. It had news repercussions. Like I said, Aaron Brockovich ended up doxing the mayor of Montreal because of that thing.
Wow.
Right? And that was years later, like 3-4 years later, I get this call. You never know.
You
right?
never know. You never know. You never know who's in the room. You never know who's watching. And the beautiful thing about being in our room, you will know. The good thing about being inside of the actual, especially the elite and the intense group, is you are watching each other, right? If I'm going viral, guess what I'm going to do? I might put y'all on the viral tip too. You know, and that's the goal. If this goes, I want Natasha to get this thing as viral as possible because people need to understand this isn't done. I want to see her and I on Good Morning America talking to Robin Roberts to say why this is different. This is different because we are here. SBA can't do this. SCORE ain't doing this. WeBank ain't doing this. They're not doing this. They provide spaces to kumbaya, but do they ask you, is your books right? Can you come out of the gate? Are you bankable? Do you have any clue how to write a damn proposal?
Did you figure out your pricing?
Correct.
We're coming for all of you, by the way. If you come up like I just imagine my price, Twyla's going to be all up in you.
I just was all up in one person for 3 hours on Sunday.
What do you mean you guessed your pricing?
Down to the bottom, breaking it down every single step of how a full boarding cost comes, and then how do you profit? And then it told her, ding, 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 Twyla, this is high. You know why it's high? Because you don't have enough customers. Now you got to spread it amongst your customers. So what does that mean? You better get over to Natasha and figure out how to get more customers. You need a marketing strategy. Because until you actually do work and have multiple clients, guess what's taking the brunt of your burden? One client. You will fail with one client.
Yep.
Because you probably are not worth that much when you look at the rate. You got to spread that over multiple clients. There's a way to gradually move it, but you got to know the finesse. I'm blessed to be a finance person. I'm blessed to be an accountant. That's what's blessed me to be in this game so long and do multiple businesses that went over millions.
You know the numbers.
I manage by numbers. So yeah, that's why we're there. To wrap this up, I'm glad you now know and who we are. We're the Impact League. We're coming after you. We're coming for you. If you're in business and you're serious about your craft, relinquish all those other memberships and get into the league. I guarantee you, you will see better profits, better structure, better results by being in this group than you ever will by going and walking on fire, by going and hearing some crazy shit on a stage for $50,000, from getting a template. There is no way in hell I could pay $50,000 just to hear somebody tell me things are going to get better. Come up with a plan. Here's a template. No way. No way. So I'm a government expert in procurement as well. So if you do want to rock with the government, probably want to talk to me because I know how to bid and I've won against big boys. So I say that because this is our time. This is our moment. I feel wholeheartedly behind this. And not only are we here in Canada and we're here in the US, my vision is to move it to Africa. So imagine that gate that could be open.
Blow it
I'm there
open.
now.
Blow it open.
I love it. And so I'm there now and I can't wait. I showed this to the chief and he was like, let's get it up the chain to the president. I said, oh, no. We need to baseline this here with Canada and us. My goal is by December, we do at least $1 to $2 million worth of revenue amongst each other inside the platform. Inside. You know why we'll be able to do that? Because we're going to be able to create more business opportunities. We're going to be bidding on opportunities that is bigger, so we might be able to team. That is not a big number, guys. It might sound like it to you.
No.
I don't come to play unless I can make $1 million. So we're going to get you in that mindset. So I thank you, Natasha. Do you have anything you want to leave the audience with?
Listen, I've been pissed at the gurus for the last 15 years. This marks the end of it. It stops with us.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Get it done. Get
Move
in the lead.
Forward. We're going to have fun.
It's going to be a ride, guys. We'll see you on the other end.